Welcome stage 3 to your second mathematics enrichment class. We're obviously online today because of the public holiday. So feel free to pause this video, come back to it whenever you need to re-listen, and make sure you're pausing and completing the quizzes in real time as you go as well, once you've heard my instructions. Now we're going to continue looking at fractions, and the first thing we're going to do today is look at simplifying fractions. Simplifying fractions means finding the smallest equivalent fraction. When I say smallest, I obviously don't mean by value because they aren't equal, that's what equivalent fractions are, but I mean that you'll be using the smallest numbers. So for example, 24 out of 48 is equal to 1 over 2 because 24 is also half of 48. Now, to simplify fractions, we use the highest common factor. The highest common factor is the number that both the numerator and the denominator share and is the highest factor in each. So for example, we would need to find the factors of both numbers. The factors of 16 are 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16, and the factors of 40 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20, and 40. Now, obviously 1, 2, and 4 are all common factors, which means that they're factors of 16 and 40, but we want the highest common factor. And now we can see that the highest common factor is 8. Once we find that highest common factor, we're going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by that factor. So we would have 16 divided by 8 and 40 divided by 8. After we work that out, we have received the simplest form of this fraction, which is 2/5. Now you can use the highest common factor, or you can simplify repeatedly using common factors. What that means is that I might do it once, twice, or even 3 times using factors that I know are factors of both the numerator and the denominator. For example, with 16 over 20, I know that they're both even numbers, so obviously 2 is a factor of both. So I'm going to start by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 2, which will give me 8 over 10. Now this is not the simplest form, so I'm going to simplify it again using another common factor. Again, they're both even numbers, so I'm going to go back in and divide both by 2. This is going to give me 4 over 5. Now, since 5 is a prime number and the only factors it has are 1 and 5 is not a factor of 4, that means that this is my last step. This is the simplest form of the fraction 16 over 20, which means that it is equal to 4/5. Now, what I want you to do is head back onto Canvas and complete that first quiz. So you'll be at your home page onto week 9, and then click onto that first quiz and complete that. Okay, once you're done with that first quiz, we're going to move on to adding and subtracting fractions. Now, when we're adding regular fractions, the main thing you need to remember is that the denominator must always be the same before you begin adding or subtracting. Then you need to remember to always simplify your answer to get the simplest form. We're going to start with 3/4 plus 4 over 12. Now, the first thing I need to do is make sure that my denominators are the same. I can't make 12 into 4, so I'm going to try to make 4 into 12, which I know I can do by multiplying it by 3. Now, because I've done that to the denominator, I also need to do that to the numerator, and that will give me the fraction 9 over 12, and then add 4 over 12. This means I only need to add the numerators, which will give me 13 over 12. Now, this is an improper fraction that we need to change into a mixed numeral because we can't leave our answer like this. Now, I know that 12 goes into 13 once, so I have 1 whole, and then my remainder is 1, which stays over 12. So my final answer is 1 and 1/12. Now, when we're subtracting regular fractions, it's the same thing. We need to make sure that the denominator is the same. So I'm going to have to change the 7 into 21 if I can. If I can't, then I can multiply, cross multiply. So 6 over 7 would be multiplied by the denominator of the other fraction and the other way around as well. But because I can multiply by this by 3 to make it 21, I'm going to do it to the numerator and the denominator, which will then give me 18 over 21, take away 12 over 21, which will then give me 6 over 21. Now, I can simplify this fraction by using the highest common factor. So factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. Factors of 21 are 1, 3, 7, and 21. Now you can see that they have a common factor of 3. So I'm going to divide both by 3 and then find my simplified factor, which is 2 over 7. Now we're going to add and subtract fractions and mixed numbers. Now when we're adding and subtracting fractions with mixed numbers, we also need to make sure that the denominator is the same, and then we need to simplify our answers. Now, with mixed numbers, we have wholes and fractions. So what we're going to do is actually separate the whole from the fractions. So now I've got 4 plus 3/5 plus 5 over 7. Then I'm going to make sure that my fractions have the same denominator by cross multiplying. So 3 over 5 will be multiplied by 7, which will give me 21 over 35. And then 5 over 7 will be multiplied by 5, which will give me 25 over 35. I'm going to add them together, which gives me 46 over 35. Remember, we don't add the denominators, they stay the same. Now again, I need to turn this into a mixed number. So I know that 35 goes into 46 only once, and then my remainder is 11 over 35. Now I'm going to come back, add those 4 wholes into it. So then I will have 4 plus 1 and 11 over 35, which then gives me 5 wholes and 11 over 35. Now we're going to add 2 mixed numbers, and again we're going to separate the wholes and the fractions. So I'm going to put 4 and 2 to the side, and then add our fractions together. So 2/3 and 5 over 9. This gives me 6 wholes plus 2/3 and 5 over 9. Now I have my wholes all together. I'm going to add my fractions by making sure that they have the same denominator. I can do this by multiplying 2 over 3 by 3, because that will then make the denominator 9. So if I do 2 over 3 times 3 on both, then I end up with 6 over 9 plus 5 over 9, which then equals 11 over 9. Now this improper fraction needs to be turned into a mixed number. I know that 9 goes into 11 once, and the remainder is 2 over 11. So then I'm going to bring back my whole. 6 plus 1 and 2 over 11 is equal to 7 and 2 over 11. Okay, now we're going to subtract fractions from whole numbers. Now, for wholes, you can imagine like this. We're going to separate them into 7 segments because the denominator of the fraction is 7. So I'm going to pause that while I do that quickly. Okay, and there I have 4 wholes separated into 7 equal parts. The reason they're separated into 7 equal parts is because the denominator is 7, and that would mean that 4 wholes would be 7 over 7 each time. Now I'm going to take away those 5 sevenths. I'm going to cross out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Make sure it's known that they're crossed out there. And then whatever I have left is my answer. So I've got 1, 2, 3 wholes still left over, and 2 over 7. Okay, now that we've done that, I want you to head back onto Canvas. And if you need a little bit more practice on those, you can watch this video here as well. They've got lots of examples on the same thing that we've just done. And then I want you to click onto the second quiz and complete that. Please remember that when you're writing fractions to use the forward slash, otherwise the computer will not be able to mark it correctly for you. And when you're writing mixed numbers, write the whole number and then write and write the fraction again with a forward slash. Alright, once you've completed that second quiz, we only have one more thing left to do, and that is to solve some word problems. So here's an example that I'll do for you. It says Regina rode her bike 2 3/7 kilometers to school in the morning and then 1 1/3 kilometers to her friend's house in the afternoon. How many kilometers did she ride in total? Now, I know that the word total means that I'm going to have to add them together and find the total as it says. So I'm going to start with 2 3/7 plus 1 1/3. Again, I'm going to put my whole numbers to the side. This will give me a 3 instantly, and then add my fractions separately. Now my fractions have different denominators, and I know that they need to have the same denominator if I'm going to add them together. So I know that 7 and 3 don't share any common factors, so I am going to cross multiply and find the same denominator. So 2/7 will be multiplied by 3, which will give me 6/21. And 1/3 will be multiplied by 7, which will give me 7/21. And that will equal to 13/21. So I'm going to bring my whole back as well. It's going to be 3 plus 13/21, which equals 3 wholes and 13/21. Because 13 is a prime number, the only factors it has are 1 and 13 is not a factor of 21, so that is the simplest form of that fraction. Now I want you to head back onto Canvas and answer those word problems that are there. Remember to always simplify your answers and be sure to convert any improper fractions into mixed numbers. So you're going to head back and it will be the last quiz. Oh, let's get back onto that page. There we go. It will be that last quiz on your week 9 page. Again, remember to use the forward slash and the word and when you are writing mixed numbers. There's that quiz for you now. Type your answers into the empty spaces, and there would be some where you need to click a drop down menu to find the correct answer for the space. Now, good luck with that, boys and girls. That's the end of the lesson. And since this video is posted on Friday before Easter, I'm going to say I hope you have a beautiful Easter with your family. Stay safe, enjoy your long weekend, and I will see you next week.